Hello and welcome to Limitless Talk with me, Katie. And you're not seeing the one person on the screen, definitely is two, Yaz and Zoey, who, when I was thinking about how I was going to introduce them, I didn't really think about it probably till about 5 minutes since before coming on here. But I think it's safe to say that myself, Yaz and Zoey have been on a journey, and through the coaches that we have, the coaching programme that we're in, Ready for Anything, we have been able to be in the lowest, shittest place that we could possibly be and not realise that changing our lives are possible. And through that, we kind of connect. Our coaches were like, yeah, we think you should talk to Yaz and Zoey, or we think you should talk to Katie. And became friendship, I think, is the simplest way to put it as an introduction. And the rest is memories, laughs, food, and cups of tea. I would probably say that sums the three of us up. And I wanted Yaz and Zoey to come on because I just wanted to see, instead of me chatting nonsense sometimes myself, or having all these people that give different perspectives, I think it's nice to focus on friendship for once and just have a right good natter. But before we get into it, Yaz and Zoey, if you were to describe who you are in simple terms, what would you say? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I would say reliable, trustworthy, and quite an honest person.
Love that, straight in there.
Always up for a challenge as well.
That I can agree with, yes.
I would say I'm always up for a challenge now. Always up for a challenge. I'd probably say I was quite reliable, trustworthy, good, honest, yep,
ruthless,
good to hang about with, up for a laugh. Could cut me with anything, I would say.
I think that sums up our friendship as well. That's kind of quite cool in a way. I wanted to start with that because I think it's important to how you see yourself, but I know that both of you, I'm not going to share the story. I think it's for you to share as much as you feel you would want to, but you didn't always feel like that about yourselves. I know that because I've got to know you really, really well, but there was a time in both of your lives where it wasn't the case. So if you could, share a little bit about it, however you feel comfortable, about the journey that you've both have been on that brought you not only into the same coaching programme as me, but to where you are now.
I'll go. I'd probably say it started when we left school. We weren't really, not like we were shit at everything, but we weren't really that good at everything.
We weren't like sporty.
We weren't sporty. We didn't really have like a niche that we were like good at anything. Kind of went to dancing, like done PE at school, never really like kind of excelled in anything. Then we left school and we just kind of like went to college, you got a job, like just went about our life, and then
started to diet like a wee bit.
Like a wee bit. We were always that bit bigger than everybody at school, like just because of our height and stuff like that. And then, but we weren't like obsessed about weight or like anything like that. But like at the latter end of like high school, like we took like low fat Chris and stuff like that. Then we like made like a noticeable change, like to start eating like a wee bit because we couldn't get away with it as much as you do like when you get older. And then we went on a holiday to Egypt, and I always remember going to Egypt, and then we had the breakfast. We went for a breakfast once and went back another twice, didn't we, for the breakfast like later on the morning. And I just remember going home for that holiday and being like, oh, like not like the last hurrah, but then we just like joined the gym when we got home, and then started going to the gym. Not really like doing anything efficiently, but like just went to the gym, and then there was never a point where we said, oh, you want to get skinny, but like over time, like habits got worse, behaviours got worse, and then it was like an addiction that you couldn't really control. And then we thought naively that was all the thing we could be good at, was like being skinny. Like when we would walk into a room, I would describe it as like if I seen somebody really nice, right, I'd be like, oh, she's so pretty, like I love her outfit. I'd be like, but it's fine, no, I'm still skinnier than her. And that's so savage to say that out loud, but that's how I thought.
You always had like, it's fine, I'm the skinniest. Like, and it's savage. Like, I mean, we didn't even like the way we looked.
No, I didn't like it. Wasn't like we look back and we go, oh, that was a bang and look that. Like, I look great like that, but like, you didn't know what else to do to fix it.
And
like,
we didn't think we had anything wrong with it.
We just thought we were fine.
We just thought like,
I was the same.
Really that much. Like, as long as we had we ate dinner at night, like, we'd get up in the morning, we'd have a few grapes, melon, go to work, have a banana, and then
sugar-free jelly.
Come
home, have our dinner, and then have like an apple or like melon for some supper. Like, my mum thinks that our dinners were the thing that saved our life, but like, it's sad to look back on now, but like, we held like the meals, like even a banana, we were like, oh my god, can't wait for this banana. Like, it was ridiculous saying that out loud.
And then we'd go to the gym at night, and it would just be like
just a cycle, like a hamster wheel that you go on and on every single day.
No like great purpose. And then, like, I don't know, it was came to like January this year, and then I used to phone Yaz at lunch and be like, oh, it can't be this hard, life can't be this hard, like, I'm so fucking hungry, as if like yesterday was going to be any different for the day because I didn't eat any more, so it wasn't going to be no different. And then, like, I don't know, January time came around, and I was like,
we phoned each other, like, it can't be this hard, nobody else is finding life this hard, it can't be.
So I don't know, I just got to one point where every phone call was just terrible. And I was like, right, we need to like tell mum. As if like mum didn't know, as if nobody knew. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're doing this thing.
As if it was a secret.
We would always threaten like back and forth, like before January. I think we should tell mum. I'd be like, no, don't tell mum, because like if I told mum, then it would become like real life, and we'd need to address it because she would know, as if she didn't already know. But like, she would know, and if we said that we wanted to change, and she made us change, and like the days that we didn't want to change anymore, or like if there was a day we woke up and we thought, don't want to do it today, like, and mum would be like back in a corner, like, no, you need to do it today, whatever else. And I was like, no, so don't tell mum. Like, I was begging her like not to tell her, and then
I don't know, just something about this time that we seemed to be like,
Lindsay had a baby.
And I don't know, I was just like, I just don't want our life to be like this forever. Like, I was like to Yasmin, like, when's the next time we eat a chippy? When's the next time? Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a fucking chippy. I was like, when are we going to eat cakes again? When are we going
I wonder if I'll ever eat a full-size bagel again. Like, they're the things we used to ask ourselves, and I'm like, see, if folk could hear this conversation, they think we are mad.
And then like the February time, and there was a 12-week peak thing, I was like to Yaz, right, I think we should do this. This means we're going to have to eat, like, transform your body. Like, we're going to have to eat to go on this. And see like the amount of like courage it took to build up to sign up to the 12-week peak and like put out that money. I was like, right, we're doing this. I'm full steam ahead, not going back. Mum was like, I was like pure greeting all that on the phone. And then anyway, we signed up to get, and then they emailed us back to say you've been rejected, like, because our body weight and stuff like that. I was like, no wonder.
No wonder, like,
but anyway, so that is what I started the hamster wheel of, like, we need to find somebody now. Like, we need to find somebody that's going to help us. Like, still denial of the fact that we have anorexia. And I was just like, we need to find someone. So Yasmin, I was like, we need to find a coach. We need to find a coach. Like, we need to find someone who's going to fucking help us. Because, like, well, we're still in the momentum's high, and like, we're going to change. We need to go.
We never thought we had an eating disorder, though. We just thought we had like
issues.
I was the same as me. That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. Is like, I thought being 35 kilograms in weight, which is just short of 6 stone, was almost normal.
Yeah.
And it's purely because, as you say, like, in denial, and knowing that I wanted to play football again at the time and do all these different things and think I could be fit as people you see on social media. I love how you said that, like, when you were looking to join that 12-week peak, it was like, we're going to have to eat
thing,
here. And I was just thinking that, I had to go through that of, I'm going to have to eat here, but I still didn't do it. It's amazing how you're so far in that vicious hamster wheel of, but I'm still not going to do it. And I think before we go on to like where Ailey and Christian come into it, is, do you think, finding a coach to help you, or do you think it was actually what you were looking for was someone to understand you both? Because there's an understanding of
someone
who got
it.
Yeah, and obviously that is where
we need intervention. Like, people get.
Definitely. Well, Yaz messaged her, and
I found her on Instagram, and I seen a post, and I was like reading the post, and I was like, that resonates, that is hitting me right now, that post. Every point in it, I was like, I feel like that hits me. Like, I used to do that. Like, I like hold food to like up there, like it's on a pedestal. Do you know what I mean? Like, all these points was going through my head, and I sent it to Zoe, and I was like, mate, like, go and tell me one of these points that isn't valid to you, or like doesn't like ring true to you. And she's like, no, none. And then I messaged Rayleigh and then I shut out it and deleted my message. But they've got like a system set up that
You can see it.
you can see it like behind it. So she still seen my message and she messaged me back and I was like, oh God, she's messaged me back. Like she pure knew I was looking for something. And then I just had to message her and then we got a call locked in, didn't we?
Yeah, like the same day.
You had a call with Christian, I had a call with Ailey, and then we didn't discuss it and we got off the call and I phoned Zoe and I was like, are you doing it, mate? And she's like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like, so am I. I was like, I'm glad you said you were doing it.
Wow. And I think that I think can safely say the rest is history at that point, and obviously that was a turning point. Both locked in.
The signing up was
both
initially.
signing up. The courage. I would say that was the courage that you spoke about before. Are we just about a year on now? We're in April 2025. What's changed? What changes?
So much. Like stuff that I wouldn't even have considered would have changed. Like just the atmosphere in the household, the relationship with people that we have now that we never used to have, like going out on a friendship day, like with Lindsay, and just coming home and being like, that was such a good day. We never even really done that much. Like, or like even just going round to Lindsay's for tea and like being able to have a biscuit with her, like just normal stuff, like being able to go places and be included in places and not have to think,
Food.
food.
Like, shit, what am I going to do? Like, where am I going to go? Everyone's just chilled. You feel like you feel like you can just talk openly about stuff now and like...
You can sit down and your mind's not running away with you.
And then like also for the different point is like you feel like you can, like the confidence, like you feel like you can do anything if you overcome that. I feel like I could conquer the world when I've overcame that.
It's funny that because I would always have said before I was quite a confident person, I would have thrown myself at anything. But looking back now, I'm like, I wasn't confident. Nah, I wouldn't even go to the West End in Glasgow.
Yeah, I always think of it. So for me, I was confident as Christian always said to me, I was confident for the mental health that I was holding with like a medal round my neck and the trophy that I walked around with, because I was holding it into such a high standard because you had to. You were so far in it.
Oh,
I
I
had I had that confidence, that kind of, look at me, underweight, horrible. Like people would like stop my mum and dad in the street and go, is Katie all right?
I know.
Katie's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with Katie. But then you come home at night and you'd be like, I'd look drooped in the face. I know it's probably terrible to say, but
you don't see it back then.
A care of a deceased, if you like, in the job as a funeral director, looked a lot more at peace than I did as a living individual. And it's hard to say, but I mean that in the best possible way.
I know what you mean.
I didn't realise how bad I was and everything, but it was like I was walking around like strutting the stuff.
You thought you were great?
Yeah, I thought it was best thing
But
since bread.
Like in your head as well though, like it's like you're present, but you're not, like you're there, but you're not present because your mind's run away with different things. You don't feel like your energy's so low that it's like you've to build up so much energy, you can be enthused about stuff. Like it's like it was like hard work all the time. Like your body was in just this mental state of like I don't know.
I know, just like
I thought it was easy. You thought it was easy, but I think so I'm 3 years on properly that I sometimes even say to, well, my mum, or famous Fiona, as people might know her, it's like, how did I do that? Like, how did you not, and I very much know now, and I've shared this with both of you, that how much my mum and dad had to suffer. Like, your mum and dad like double dunk because there's two of you, and I always like find it incredible how, even though you both went through that, and you all went through that as a family, you both had one another. I didn't have that, and I love that, how we can share this conversation, because it's totally different perspective of me as an individual with no siblings, but you two went through it together. And I've always said to you both, like, I find that empowering in a way, because some people are like, why would you find that empowering that they both went through something bad? That's not what I mean by that.
I know.
It's just that you had one another. Not only did you like begin your journey to change and get you to like this point a year on, but you could handhold each other when it mattered. And I kind of wish I had that in a way, but in the nicest possible way that I mean that.
There's like nobody, I would say there was obviously Christian, Ailey, and you understand it, but nobody gets it like how Yasmin gets it and I get it. So like there'll be things that me and you'll take to the grave that they'll know that me ever done. I know. Like just like fun things, just that.
Yeah.
But even like it's the best possible thing having her, but it's also the worst possible thing.
Because we're feeding off each other. Like
if she's not eating it, I'm not eating it. And if she's not doing it, I'm not doing it. But then it works in the opposite though. If she's like, I'm doing it, then I've like, just for example, like a pre-workout,
she's like, well, I was so unsure about them at the start, and that's why I pushed my gym, like going in the morning, off for so long. And so I was like, I think we should just go and try it. Like Christian's telling us to try it. It must be good, whatever else. And I'm like, if it means if I need to go in the morning, means I need a pre-workout, I'm not keen on that. That's more food, whatever else. And then is always like, well, I'm going in the morning. And I was like, well, obviously I'm going to go in the morning. And she's like, and she had like food before she went. Would you have like a banana or something like that? I was like, right, okay, I'll have a banana then. But like, I know that if she wasn't doing that, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that as
There's
well.
not
Like, I
even-
know we
there's
shared a
to say that,
conversation
like-
about a month ago. The same thing. Like, going in the morning and things. And I shared with you guys that I've had a breakfast since the 9th of December 2024 every day. And some folk like, why are you remembering that? And you're now like 4 months into 2025. Who cares if you have a breakfast? Well, actually, it's important to me because I'm 28 years old and it's taken me till I'm 28 to learn what a breakfast means, what eating for fueling means, and what doing all this stuff does. And actually, like, knowing that you guys do the same, it's like, well, we know if we're having a bad day, for example, or we're not feeling 100% within ourselves, we're working ever harder, like so hard. Like for me, just to eat that cereal bar, or just to eat that banana. And it's like,
Because when
this
things
is
start to go wrong in your day, you're a bit like, what can I manipulate? Right, okay, food. What can I control that I can feel in control of again when everyone else is going out of control? To be fair, I've never had those thoughts where I've never, ever since starting this a year ago, I've never had a day where I've woke up and thought, right,
No.
today is the day I'm not eating.
Touch wood, we've been lucky to never wake up and been like, oh,
I think I'm just so grateful for food now.
I don't want to do it today. I'm not doing it today. And like, now we've never had it. A couple at the start. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like saying that we found it easy or it's been a walk in the park.
No.
Because there has been moments where I've been sitting there sweating, like, I don't want to eat this, but like, I'm going to eat it anyway. I'm not going to make a scene about it. But there's been a couple, like, at the start, there was a couple of weekends, wasn't there?
Yeah,
where,
we were out and we were like in Greg's, and I'm like, right, I need to have a donut. And Yaz didn't want a donut. It was like World War III in Greg's over this donut. And my mum was like, Mum gets it, right? Mum gets it to a degree. But even this mum was like, this is way over my head. You two only need to go and get psychiatric help over this donut.
So I didn't want a donut at that time in the day.
This is wild. And I was like,
I don't want it. Yeah, mine was a banana. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this banana. It got launched.
It got launched across the room. I was I think it's the most embarrassed I've ever been. I think it's the most angry I've ever been, which is embarrassing in itself over banana.
It brings out a sense of anger in you that you never knew you had. Like this rage that comes over you and makes you hot and sweaty.
I was hot, like, and to do it for me to do it in front of my mum. My mum could have been like a horrible mum, or like could have grounded me when I was wee for this, that, and the next thing. But to throw a banana across the room in front of an innocent mum who just stood and watched, like, who do you think? It was that moment for me, like, who do you think you are, Katie? Like, who on earth do you think you are? And then to be sat in front of your parents, to be told, listen, you're going to be going to a facility and you're going to watch this video, and this video of this girl was called Katie was like, no, I'm not. Like, nope, not happening. And that was kind of the moment for me. It was like, okay, I am. That was kind of like, I'm going to get help, kind of like what your mum did. Like, you need to get help, but I was like, no, it's going to be on my terms. And I think that's a good way of putting it. Like, I probably did try to manipulate the help. I mean, I lied to my dietitian left, right, and centre. The biggest regret for me, I think, is that I've never properly got to apologise to her, because I lied. Like, I mean, she must have been like, right, I know Katie's lied to me, but I can't tell her. She's like, she's not quite there. Oh, I lied to her left, right.
If she sees this now, we apologise.
Yeah. Like, but as you say, like, you're aware at the time, but you're not aware at the same time of what you're doing or who you are. And I'm like, ooh,
no, you think nobody else can see it, like you're running under this invisible cloak when it's completely obvious what you're doing. So obvious.
But you have to get to a point where you want to change.
Because Dad would say to us, like, oh, I think you should go and speak to a doctor, and I'm not going to a doctor, like, I'm not speaking about all that weird stuff. That's not me. Like,
I'm not weird. That's mental
I'm
health.
not weird. I'm fine. Like, who are you talking about?
Yeah. I just don't eat all day and eat at night and just manipulate everyone, but I'm cool.
So with all of that, what are you both individually most proud of? But what are you both proud of together?
Individually proud of, I would probably say me taking the first steps and to choose to sign up. Because if I never done it, Yasmin wouldn't do it. And I know that for a fact.
I think that's
Together,
I
I'd probably say together I'm proud of, just like how we've fucking just threw ourselves
How we've just got on with it, even in the hard days.
there
We've
was
not
so
made a
much
scene about
shit
it.
we didn't want to do that we've just done it anyway.
Because me and you, like, even like my mum and that aside, like me and Zoe have just woke up and just thought we'd want to do this today. We'd stay it to ourselves. We'd never make anybody else know about it. We'd just do it.
I love that.
What are you
I've
proud
got
of?
goosebumps. In a nice way.
I would say I was most proud of just showing up on the days I didn't really want to show up. Because it's easy in that, like, when I'd say it's easy.
When the limelight's on, not when the
I, like-
limelight's on you, but because nobody does it for everybody else, but
You're
when,
doing it for yourself, do you know what I mean? But I would say showing up on the days that we don't really want to show up, the days that, like, we don't want to go to the gym, or the days that, like, I don't know, just the more challenging days. It's like
the days where nobody's looking, the days when it's just
Aye.
you, the days when it's just me, the
when you
days
go to
when my
work
dad's on
yourself,
holiday, and
when you go to work yourself, and I'm like, it's fine, like, it's easy when, like, Zoe's there and she's eating it and I'm eating it, or, like, we're doing this thing because she's doing it and I'm doing it and everybody else is there and whatever else, and you've got not an audience, but, like, the difference is, like, when it's just me and Zoe, or, like, when nobody else is around, or when I'm at work myself, it's like I still need to do it behind doors.
And I'm getting goosebumps to that because that was what I think, getting to know you both, that's what I was hoping that you would say, because of the amount of conversations and shares that we've had amongst ourselves. But for anyone that, you know, has had an eating disorder, anorexia, undernourished, malnutrition, all of these words that associate with bad eating habits, bad behaviours with food, what could we use as three people that have gone through different experiences but experienced the anorexia bracket and all the other names that go with it? How can we use this space right now? What could both of you say to maybe help someone, or help someone that's still going through it, or someone that's perhaps getting to the point where you both are now a year on?
This is so cliche and everybody says it, but it gets easier the more you do it. Like anything in life, the more you do it, the easier it
do
gets.
the reps over and over again.
That's what we done behind closed doors. Like, me and Zoe would, like, eat, like, we'd eat, like, bagels, like small bagels, and then we'd build up to, like, a bigger bagel, and then we'd be cool with bagels. We'd try all different varieties of bagels, because Zoe always said to me, I never want to go to somebody's house, Yasmin, and freak out about what bread they're giving me or what crisps they're giving me, because it's like a certain brand, it's like a certain. I was like, mate, I know that. I says, so, like, we just need to, like, be versatile and, like, eat anything. Like, be okay with all bread, like, and not, like, be okay with just, like, I don't know, wholemeal or, like, Hovis or just Kingsmill. Like, we have to be okay with everything. So, like, we practice it behind closed doors. Like, we practice getting pineapple cake after pineapple cake
Practice
from
eating
various
cakes.
different shops, like different Empire biscuits. Like, we just practice. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but we'd eat all different varieties of stuff every shop, and just so that
Still doing it.
And we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Empire biscuit. We just
Yeah,
do
I'd say
it.
about your obsession with Empire biscuits, but in a nice way. I think that's it. Like,
Yeah.
I always say now, like, I think for my perspective on that is, and I told you this, is like, I will never ever deprive myself again. Like, if I want, like, my dad would sometimes he still does it at lunchtime. We've got to say, he'll bring in, like, a chocolate bar, and it could be like a Snickers or a double decker or a Whisper, right, whatever it is, whatever crap my mum and dad have in their fridge, and I'm like, I'll never say no, because I'll never deprive. I might not eat it that day, but obviously,
you've built up
controversial
enough
point,
trust
my
with yourself
chocolate's
to
in
know
my
that.
fridge. Yeah.
But you've built up enough trust with yourself to know that you will eat it at some point. Whether it's not today, it doesn't mean that you're going to turn into anorexic again. You're not going to eat it all over.
And I'm not going to feel guilty for it.
My advice would probably be you have to constantly do stuff you do not want to do and sit with that. The only way I can describe it is see when your head's about to explode and you've got so much happening and there's a ringing in your ears and it's like somebody puts something in front of you and you're like, can't eat this, and you just
The voice is ringing.
it. You just have to eat it and you have to act normal. Like, one time me and Yaz went to Sugo right at the start, and it was with, like, a friend who I was friends with through my work, and, like, she didn't really know much about it, and she's, like, close but not, like, close to a point where, like,
She knew we were uncomfortable with pasta.
me and Yaz were so uncomfortable. Me and Yaz were greeting for it in
Crying
Sugo.
inside Sugo, but
We tried to act normal in Sugo, which we did act
we
normal.
didn't. We weren't crying for her. Like, we were just totally normal with her, but, like, couldn't remember any of the conversation. Was struggling to hold the conversation. I was looking as though she was looking at me, or, like, the brink of tears. Still ate all the pasta.
Yeah.
Like, still enjoyed it all, but, like, the whole time I couldn't hear a thing.
It was just like this sound in your ears, and you're just like, shouldn't be eating it, shouldn't be
I
doing
couldn't
it.
wait to get out of the place and shut the door. And, like,
But
oh
then
my God.
then you had it, and then it was like sound, and now you're just saying we pasta, and now we've got it on the menu like twice, 3 times a week.
I know.
See, that's where it's like amazing. And now we're a year on, for just to get the full understanding, right? To go from hardly eating, not eating. What is a typical day in the life of Yaz and Zoey eating? Just to, not to prove, it's not a proof thing, but to show that change can happen. So I want to know what
Probably
your typical day is.
Get up and we have milk for the gym.
Yep.
And then we'll go to the gym, do whatever we're doing, and then come home, get our tablets, get dressed, go to work, and then we'd come have breakfast at work, wouldn't we?
It would typically between like 400 to 450 calorie breakfast.
Yep. And then we have a mid-morning snack, which is like a bit of fruit and like a biscuit or something like that. And then we'd have lunch. They're not in council lunches anymore, are they?
No, before it was like crisp pieces, hot dogs and toast,
spaghetti and toast. Like now we've had
now we're big girls.
For you two, I didn't really know what a council lunch was, so I'm so glad you decided to describe that on there for people that don't know what a council lunch is.
We're having like better lunches and probably like wrap, stuff like that. Bacon, just sausage, eggs, things like that. Just easy, like office lunches.
Yeah.
But not council lunches. And then
a couple of snacks in the afternoon.
Like a kind of yogurt or pancakes, something like that. Like 2 snacks we'd have minimum in the afternoon. And then we'd come home, get a dinner, roughly about 600, 700 calorie dinner.
Yeah. Not really calorie counted, just whatever.
No,
really.
just like if you want
roughly.
that. Roughly.
And then supper, and then that would be us to about 8 o'clock, and then we'll maybe have
2-course supper,
like a porridge or Greek yogurt and some granola.
Yep.
And then crumpets.
Anything, any sort of carb that's in the cupboard.
Yeah, crumpets, fruit loaves.
Crumpets are a strong favourite in the house.
Some sweeties a wee, like I always say to Yasmin, like recently when we went to the same event as you and the nutritionist was there, and we were just trying to get in better shape now, so we look like we train 6 days a week. Do you know what I mean? Like watch our protein, stuff like that. So we were kind of like cutting back on the sweets.
We were just getting junk calories in before, like we were just eating, like because we had a lot of calories, like we were just filling it with junk. Like now we're like, well, if we have like Greek yogurt and granola, then that's like more calories and probably more beneficial for us. Still really tasty than what it would be like a kind of a full plate of like kind of sweeties. But now we've built up trust with ourselves, though we know that like
we were using it as an
we
excuse.
Don't need to like cut. I were using it as an excuse before, like.
We were like skinny before, we deprived ourselves of sweets before, right? Okay,
it's fine, we can have this.
We don't want to deprive ourselves, whereas now we want a better body, better physique, that we need to not make these sacrifices, but even just trying to, we've been doing it for like 6 or 7 weeks now, but even just trying to,
like, because everyone at the start, like everyone's getting his cakes, my gran, like the best one in the world, like she'll make his own sponges, shortbread and all that. Great gran, like thanks.
I can vouch for Gran Helen at this point, who made me a lemon drizzle gluten-free cake, and it is absolutely divine. So yes, I can say that I get the benefit of that too.
Our baking's good, don't get me wrong. And she brings it down, and I'm like, aye, okay. And you're like, I don't want to have like cakes every night of the week, but I'm going to need to have cakes until it's gone.
I know, but
surrounded by feeders.
Yeah, but even just like my mum and that, like even just when we made that shift, like not that long ago, my mum like having the confidence that my mum's got in is to know that we're not shrinking ourselves again. We're just making better choices, but the healthier choices. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before that would have been having as little as possible, as more green stuff on our plate as we could. Do you know what I mean? But even the fact my mum and dad have got confidence in it and is that we're not going to go back to that life at all.
And on that, because I'm desperate to know, because I had to go through a bit of reflection on this, what would you like to say to your mum and dad about the journey that they've been on, as much as you both have been on?
Thanks just for not being dicks.
Thanks for just accepting us, like, even when we were dicks, because we used to say a lot of...
It's actually something Connor said in the podcast, and it was like, they loved you for your daughter, but they, I loved Jasmine as a sister,
but you hated who I was as a person.
Yeah.
And I hated who I was as a person. My mum hated who I was. No, she didn't hate who I was, right? But like when that head was switched, like when that turned and that switch was turned and that button was pushed, I was a cow.
Mm-hmm.
You were a bit better.
I was a bit mildly better, but like even to some point and to some degree, I was like, I love Yasmin, but fuck me, man, she's savage. Like, and it's even just that point. Like, I just like so glad my mum and dad didn't force us to do it until we were ready, because it would have been like hitting your head off a wall.
It's been pointless.
There was a thing that I listened to the other day, and it was they sort of asked, someone asked them a similar question, and it was, I thanked them for not pressurising me, but thanked them for supporting. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, that's different to be supportive than it is to put the pressure on.
But even at the start, even like throughout the full journey, there's not been one day my mum says, I think she's maybe said once, oh, why don't you, maybe you should have a wee bit more. She's never said to me, like, she's just let me and you figure it out for herself. She's never said, try, like, she said, oh, why don't you get this? Or like, why don't you get that? Like, she offers her opinion, but she never says, I think you should do this, or like, eat that, or like, you've not had enough today, or like things like that. She would never say anything like that. Like,
yeah, she's so on board. She's so on board with it. She's like, even in it out stuff, we're like, right, mum, we're going to go here, and she'll be like, right, okay, let's go then. She doesn't like question it. Like, she doesn't be like, why are we going here? Why are we started going for brunch? Why are we going to a pasta place? Like, she just goes with it, and I just love that about her. Like, she just fucking gets on board with anything.
She's
go for brunch.
She's savage as much as you two.
Yeah, she is. She just gets on board, literally rolls with the punches, will do anything, and will back you to the grave along the lines. Because of like even Lindsay said to us many times, she's like, I could even feel your mum backing you up in situations, and I'm like, I didn't even know she was doing it because I was so like red mist down. I was just like I couldn't see it, and when she's like, even your mum would back you up in situations, and I'm like, she would actually back you at the grave, right, wrong, and different.
Pardon the pun, the grave.
Even my dad as well.
Director.
He's the same.
My dad used to, like, we go to restaurants and my dad would be like, we'll get an extra salad, and I'm like, we don't need any more salad, but like, he knew that's what I ate, so he's like, let's get salad.
Even
like, here's some of my dinner, like here's some like
chicken, because he knew that's what we'd eat. Or like even last night we went out for dinner, he's like, oh, we'll go out for dinner, whatever, so what you getting? And then I didn't order a salad, I got steak and stuff, and he's like, we'll get a wee side salad. I was like, no, it's fine, Dad, like I've got like a side, whatever else, I'm cool. And he's like that. And the woman came up and he's like, can we get 2 side salads as well, please? I know you wanted them, but you said why I asked them. And I'm like, thanks anyway.
That's a typical dad thing. I go through that constantly in the nicest possible way, though. But the Yaz and Zoey 12 months, 18 months ago, even 2 years ago, that was going through this and getting deep into that different type of journey. What would you say to both Yaz and Zoey then? Now that you've been through a year of complete change of life.
Why did you wait so long? Why did it
why
take
do you think
me?
Why did they? Why do you think they did?
I don't know, I just think you have to go through those savage times.
You have to hit rock bottom. You have to hit rock bottom. You have to. Because if you don't, then you'll never not hit it, and you'll just keep going back and forth and back and forth. You have to hit it so that you
to know
never
how
want
bad
to
it
go
was.
back there.
Yeah, to know how bad it felt. I'd probably say to myself, I'd like people to know how much food just does not make you fat. How much you need to eat to make you fat. Like how much, like if I was having a treat with Yaz before, it would plague my head. Like I'd be sitting there for ages after it, thinking about it, thinking, and I'm like, that wouldn't even have done anything in my body.
No, I know. No.
And I've wasted hours of my life thinking about shit like that.
Because anyway. You say it plagues you, and just I think that was the best advice I ever got. It was, you've had to go through all of that to be in this moment now of like, I can do this, or I'm capable of this, or I'm confident properly now. So I think that I would agree with that, because that's what I kind of experienced and what kind of advice that I was sort of told. And I just want to ask you some quick questions about what would your, you know how they've got that question that they like, what would your death row meal be if you could pick one? What would it be? What would it be?
Well, to start with, it would be onion bhaji.
All right, we're going right, starter, main and pudding then.
God,
oh,
yeah,
right, okay, let's
we're having a starter. We're going full. We're having either onion bhajis, or we're either having something with haggis. It's got to be something
nice
with haggis.
Choice.
Haggis, bonbons, partials, anything, right? And then main course is half pizza crunch supper with salt, chips, tomato sauce on the side.
What kind of pizza? Vinegar. Just cheese?
No, like pizza crunch, like deep fried pizza.
Pizza that's dipped in batter. And then
but do you not get the choice of like mushroom, onion?
No, just plain. Just plain.
Plain? Oh, right, okay.
Just plain.
Okay.
Right? Just like the cheapest pizza.
Just like the cheapest pizza.
The junk. Let's go for it.
Right, and then dessert, Skiven cheesecake with a good thick base.
No, it's not. You would totally have melted caramel shortcake.
Oh, I would actually. I would. I'd have melted caramel shortcake.
Would you not throw in like an Empire biscuit though, just as like a, why not?
Side dish.
Yeah, a wee side dish. Have you supper? You need your supper. You like your supper, so
I
that's
would
what I mean.
probably a cakes by the weekend for a biscuit. They're
That's a
delightful.
good death row meal.
Mine's is definitely going to be vegetable pakora.
Nice.
I love vegetable pakora. Main course is going to be special fish from the chippy with all the chunky chips, pickles, salt, and tomato sauce for the house. Because
Would you have mushy peas?
no beans.
Oh, beans. I'd have
Yep.
mushy peas, but beans, good choice too. Yeah.
And then dessert is definitely like, I know what you got to say right now. You used to eat out the cup when you were a wee girl. Such a minger. What was that? Out the fridge at Christmas? Oh, trifle.
Aye.
Oh, trifle.
Oh, you're one of them. Oh,
But like
no.
the pure cheap ones for Asda.
Yeah.
Them.
You're one of them.
Elite. And then a drink would be a strawberry milkshake from McDonald's.
Yeah, that's just some quite good death row
What
meal.
about it? I mean, I did think I was going to my death row a while ago, so
That's why I had to keep it.
This was not a planned question.
I've got a
People,
plan.
this is genuinely what they would like.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite food now? If you were going out after this podcast, what would you want to eat?
Brunch all day. Like,
and what would that include?
Pancakes.
Mine'd probably be a Pisano, but that's just because I'm Pisano
Pizza.
on the brain.
Yeah, but mine would be like pancakes, waffles, baking, all that stuff.
Very American, aren't you?
You are very American. You're in the wrong country. In the wrong country.
Okay.
Is there any foods that you don't like?
Egg mayonnaise and tuna.
And coleslaw. If it touches my finger, I can't even cope with
You
it.
don't like coleslaw?
A couple of times I've dropped it on the way back to the
creamy
fridge.
stuff,
I'm like,
we're not really hot and creamy stuff.
Carbonara. Oh,
Creamy. We don't really like creamy things, but we're not big
cream's
fans.
too
To be
much.
fair, we're not really that fussy with anything else.
nah. Poached eggs. Nah. But I feel like I should be mature and like a poached egg now. But nah.
Because you're ladies who brunch. And favourite sweetie?
It used to be a double decker, but the dynamics changed to them. There's the nuggets, not as much as it used to be, and the base falls apart when you eat it. But it used to be a double decker because it was the biggest in the shelf.
And it's the smallest.
Now it's the smallest, you're right.
Mine's is probably sort of any form of Cadbury's chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
And yep, I just Cadbury's chocolate or a white Twix.
Oh, I've never had a white Twix.
Oh,
I've never had a white Twix.
unreal.
They're quite
Crisp.
good.
Favourite crisp?
McCoy's Flaming Grilled Steak.
Sensation
that's a
size.
good one back in the day. Oh,
They don't
If
make
you
them
wanna
as
do it
Flaming
right.
Grilled as they used to.
no, because you used to soak them. Like, used to look like some sort of nutter for soaking them the way they did. Oh, that's some good choices.
Yep, sensations.
And your favourite takeaway, apart from chippy and Indian?
Indian.
Indian over, yeah.
Indian, it would be an Indian, yeah, but I do like a Chinese now.
I know we carried everybody on. We didn't like Chinese for 10 years, but we do like Chinese.
Yeah, we're just like,
Say
nah,
another Chinese, some sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah,
I'm starving now.
curry.
I'm starving after talking about all this.
I know.
Absolutely starving. Right, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you were slightly nervous about doing this. So I thought, right, what kind of breaks the ice where they can sort of not get their own back, but they can have a moment where they can put it on me. So each of you have got one question that you can ask or want to know, and I will answer it.
I've got it. Who's your favourite?
Your mum, Yvonne, and Helen
no.
Gran. No, not you two. Mum and Gran.
Damn. Mine would probably be... What made you want to recover?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I did. I'll be honest, I don't think I did want to recover. Mine was because of two individuals, two parents who went through a lot to even have me, and that was the bigger reason than myself. It was never about me. It was about my mum. It was about my dad. And I think because working in the funeral industry and seeing people who had taken their own life that were the same age as me, I didn't want to see my mum and dad have to go through that.
No.
And that was why I recovered. It wasn't. I didn't want to. I don't think I was ever capable of doing it like that. And I think I can confidently say that now, that I kind of have got through the other side and doing things differently. But definitely it was for them. It wasn't for me. I wasn't capable of doing things for myself. Still sometimes I don't think I am, to be fair. I need my hand held. But yeah, I did it for them. I didn't do it for myself. And that was the perspective of the funeral industry, that I don't know, people could say that was a unique position to be in, but I think it was just a realistic position of seeing people that couldn't see a way out, and the only way they could see peace was taking their own life. And I had two parents that had fought too hard just to have one child. I went through a lot to have that one child, that I didn't want to be the reason that...
You took it away from them?
So I did it for them. Whether they know that or not. I know that they still call me a wee shite and stuff like that, and I'm 28 years old, but, you know...
Maybe you should tell them.
I think they do know that.
I think they would know that.
I think they know it in their own ways. Have we ever sat down and I've said it to their face? No. I think I've shown it in other ways. It's like, I love that expression now of, like, even over the past couple of months, it's I've let my hard work do the talking. And I've never been able to say that before. Or I've never been able to say that in a way that I think I mean it. Because the hard work is happening every single day. It's like what we're told is like our undeniable stack of evidence. I don't think anyone could take that away from all three of us right now, that, you know, we've got so much of it, and that's why we get to have this conversation. So I think that was a good question.
Mine would probably be, have you got any like long-term goals? Obviously you've got long-term goals, but like, what is the long-term goal?
I think it keeps changing.
Even if it's like fitness related or lifestyle or job or career, like, do you know what I mean?
I think, well, for one of the ones I would love to go and live in Jersey. I've said that for so long. I love the Channel Islands.
That
it was there. Yeah.
You feel like you're not in the UK anywhere.
Exactly. It's been there at my worst of times. And it never changed. It just allowed me to go through, cry, panic attacks, all that. Jersey allowed me to do that, and I still was able to enjoy it. I was able to fight even going to Jersey, because I backed out so many times with bad mental health. But I think it's kind of changed in the last few years, but I want to be in a leadership role where I can make change in the funeral industry. I want to go up the chain where we can make a difference for the people that were in my position that couldn't have went and got help when they needed it, but yet could still do the job that we do of helping a grieving family say goodbye to their loved ones. So I want to be a leader in that, and I've started that process, and it's pivoted so many times, but the position that we're in now and going forward, I think we're really going to do that. The difference we've made already. So I want to be a leader of the funeral industry for sure. Whether that be wellbeing, whether that is a funeral director. I think I can have more than one hat, but I think just making a difference. I think that would be my one.
That's good.
Probably that I would say. But I want to know, everyone gets asked the same question, and that's the only question that both of you will have been practicing.
So we actually practiced it like 10 minutes before we came on it. She's like, Mum, help me. I was
like, right, how can I manipulate this a little bit? And I've been sitting here thinking about it for a wee while. So, Yaz, what are Zoe's superpowers and why?
Oh, so I'll give good ones. She is a great leader, and I'm a great follower. Big fan. I'd say she's very proactive. She's incredibly reliable. Like, if I said to Zoe, can you do this for me? If she couldn't do it, she would come up with a second option, or she would have like another way that we could go around it, or she would get something like just stupid, right? If I said to Zoe, pick me up this at the shop, get me this. If the shop didn't have that, she would get something else, or she would go to a different shop and get it. She wouldn't come home without it. What did I say you were? Reliable. Yep. And another one of your superpowers is considerate and caring. She never forgets. She's like an elephant.
Does an elephant not forget?
Nah, they don't forget.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's a compliment in there somewhere.
I know, there is. You're not the size one, don't worry. It's just you just have a memory like one. You just have a memory like one.
You've not got
No,
Nah.
not yet.
Right,
But,
Zoe?
yeah.
Yaz.
I would say Yaz is honest, very honest.
Sometimes too honest.
Sometimes too honest to a point where I'm questioning how I look. And times I'm
Harsh
like,
but fair.
yeah, I'm like the honesty's right there. She'll always tell you exactly how it is, whether you want to hear it or not. She is caring, really caring. Like she tries to act like she's not and tries to put like a front on it, but she does deep down actually care. Timekeeping, unmatched.
It's a superpower, that.
That is a superpower.
Mhm.
In this day and age, it's a
It's a
superpower.
superpower. Honestly.
Massive, massive.
And don't forget it was late telling cycle.
I know.
Me and Zoe were there to support you, and we're like, "Where's Katie?"
Yeah, I was late to my own charity cycle.
And the other last superpower is she is a lovely twin sister, and I wouldn't choose anybody else to share this with. And good cook.
You didn't really have a choice though in the twin that you got. Really.
No, I didn't.
Nah,
Maybe
no.
I should have got your mum in at this point and asked her the truth.
Oh, she'll be hanging.
Should've got
She's
her
out there. Mom.
She'll be out there.
But I think we've probably highlighted that just as much as going through a hard journey, coming out of the other side and really finding a new life and finding your way with that.
It is like a
Gaining
new life.
That is like
yeah.
a new life.
Gaining friendship, I
Jesus,
think
good
from I would definitely say in the last 12 months, you guys coming into my life has definitely been a huge shift because I don't like people. I've said in my podcast so many times I don't like people, but we just had it off and do you know what it feels like? It feels like we've known each other for years and years and years.
does,
That's what
so
just makes it amazing.
I love hanging about you because it's like every time you leave, it's just like even that day when we went for Nando's after the event, I never wanted it to end. It's just like you get it, like you get it so well, like, and I don't know, man. It's just
not even just like the whole eating disorder, like mental health thing. Just like she just gets everyone in life so well. It's just like because we're the same age and stuff like that, and the same like kind of generation of parents. Like there's just so many like situations you're like, yep, I get that, and like your perspective on things is like definitely valued and. It gives us a different perspective on things, even seeing your point of view, because there are things that I wouldn't have thought of it that way. There's so many times where we've been sitting together and I'm like, I never thought about it like that. Different ways to look at things and stuff like that.
And it's so good. Do you know what I like though? See, obviously a couple of weeks ago I was like, oh, the mums have met. It was honestly as if, do you know how like if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're meeting the parents for the first time, I was like, Mum, you've just met Yaz and Zoe's mum. Like,
I know, I was like, Mum, you need to get out.
And I was like, I was like to Mum, I was like, you better not have looked aggressive. I'm not having people think, but famous Fiona, all these certain things. She's like that's terrible. But I thought that was such a nice moment that we all got to share. It was amazing. But I think like thank you for sharing this conversation. Like I've loved it. I've been buzzing about doing this all week.
Maybe we should do this every Sunday.
I think we should do this every Sunday. Like I think Limitless Talk should have a Yaz and Zoey part. Like regular
special,
weekly special, because you could teach me like some of your words from Motherwell. Like, what was the one about? What's the word if you're seeing someone up at Motherwell?
Getting somebody.
Getting somebody.
You're getting somebody.
Getting somebody. You're what? You're getting somebody from where? Like, are you picking them up? Where are you picking them up from? That's genuinely what I thought it was. You're like, no, I'm getting them. I'm like,
funny.
So I think there's plenty more for Yaz, Zoe and Katie to definitely put it this way. I'm going to leave it here of watch this space, everyone.
To be continued.
To be continued. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been incredible. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.